a polynomial function? It is a function, a normal one, just a cubic, quadratic, or quartic one, and so on. We can define it as a polynomial function because it has non-negative integers of x. We can also define its degree. What is a degree? A degree is the highest exponent found in a function. Finally, a coefficient is a number that multiplies the variable.
We have the roots. So the first thing we have to do is equalize them to 0. So for this, the result that we have here, we have to pass it to the other side by changing its sign. In this case, it would be x minus 1, and we equalize them to 0. And we do the same with the other roots. This would be x minus 3 equals 0, and the last one would be x plus 5 equals 0. Now that we have them equalized to 0, we have to multiply them this way. And again, we equalize them to 0.
Now you have to start multiplying the roots. It doesn't matter what order you multiply them in since they have a commutative relationship. So, we will start by writing our parentheses as the result of the multiplication between the two first parentheses. Then, you have to start multiplying each term by each of the terms of the other parentheses. We'll start with the x. X times x equals x squared. X times minus 3 is minus 3x. Now you have to start with the other term of the parenthesis, minus 1. Minus 1 times x equals minus 1x. And minus 1 times minus 3 is plus 3. Now, we have like terms in here, so they add up. Minus 3x minus 1x equals minus 4x. And that is the result of the first multiplication between the first two parentheses. Now, this multiplication will have to be multiplied by the other root. To do this multiplication, you can use whatever method you want. I will show you one right now. You write down the longest equation in here, and then below it, you write down what you're multiplying it by, and you do this multiplication like you would do any other multiplication. Plus 5 times plus 3 equals 15. 5 times minus 4x equals minus 20x. And 5 times x squared equals plus 5x squared. Now you have to grab the other term and do the same thing. And you have to write like terms below the coefficient they have. So x times 3 equals plus 3x. X times minus 4x equals minus 4x squared. X times x squared equals x to the cube. Now you have to do the addition between the like terms. So we'll start with 15. 15 doesn't have any other like terms, so we just bring it out the way down. Plus 15. Minus 20x plus 3x equals minus 17x. Plus 5x squared minus 4x squared equals plus x squared. Finally, the x to the cube doesn't have any other like terms, so you just write it down. Now that you have all the multiplication done, this will be your equation. But as a last step, you need to equalize this to the function of x. So you're going to write it down like function of x equals the result of the multiplications. And this will be the polynomial function that has these 3 roots. Now this is important to notice. Since the bigger exponent of the equation is 3, that means that there are 3 values of x that make the function of x equal to 0. So that is why we have 3 roots.
want to find the roots of this polynomial function. And there are several methods to do this. Amongst them is the factorizing method, the completing the square method, or using the general formula. But we want to concentrate on the factorizing method right now. So, the first thing you want to do is equalize the function of x to 0. So it's gonna be 2x cubed plus x squared minus 6x is equal to 0. But you have a common term that all the terms share. So in this case is the x. So we're gonna take the x out by factorizing it. X is times 2x squared plus x minus 6 is equal to 0.
At first, this x that is outside the parentheses is equal to x plus 0. And you leave it there. Then you make a normal factorization. It will be and first, to see if this is right, you have to multiply this one and this one. And this will give you 2x squared, so it's right. Then you have to multiply this one, and this one, and this one. This will give you plus 4x minus 3. And this gives you x plus x. And to get the final term, you have to multiply this one and this one. That will give you minus 6. So this is the correct factorization. Now after this, you have to separate them and equalize them to 0. So after this, you have to give the x alone. So 0 minus 0 is equal to 0. Then 0 plus 3, because the x passes to plus, it's equal to plus 3. And then if it's multiplying, it passes dividing. Finally, 0 minus 2 is equal to minus 2. So now we know that 0, 3 halves, and minus 2 are the roots.